Top of the morning, family. So if you put a group of hurt people, individuals, let's just say a group of hurt women in a room, okay, 100 of them, and let's say that their abuser all looked similar. They're all of the same race, okay? And you put someone, a man, of that racial group who had nothing to do with what happened to those 100 women. If you put him in the midst of that group, what will happen to that man? What is most likely going to happen to that man, right? That man's not going to be trusted. That man's going to be looked at a certain type of way. That man's going to be treated as if he's a monolithic presence. Like he's a single person in a monolithic group of men, and that collective group of women will no doubt probably hate that man. Okay. This really describes in a lot of ways the entire divestment community. Okay. Now, although there are women out there who are Black who will say, oh, well, my channel is not divestment, right? But when you actually listen to, I can't even call it divestment at this point. Let's just say anti-blackmail. Okay. That's pretty much what it is. Okay. Because every single talking point that a woman has to say about a Black man is negative. Let's not call you a divester. You're an anti-blackmail content creator. Let's just be real, right? And let's be real about something else. A lot of these women are just running game. Okay, we always, when we talk about like the pimping and stuff like that, y'all always like to think of it as something like that men try to run on women. No, family. Women are running game also on women, okay? This is what we are facing. Women try to run game on men. We're talking about manipulation. I'm telling y'all right now, women are more manipulative than a lot of men, if we're being completely honest with you. Like, if we're being completely honest, but I don't even want to delve too much into that. When this woman starts talking about God and she starts talking about Christianity and the Bible and and she starts running her mouth about these things, now we can, it's getting to the point where I feel obligated to say some things and to make a response to particular statements that are made. Because at this point, if you are a Black woman listening to Cynthia G, you're in great danger. Okay, you are in great danger, whether you realize it or not. You are in danger. Okay, so I'm going to play a little bit of a clip that she said. And before I get into this, I'm going to say this. Cynthia G, one of her recent videos, she showed a study that showed that Black men were some of the least desirable men in terms of dating apps, like the least likely to be responded to, etc., except by Black women. And that we were more desirable less desirable than every group of men outside of Asian men or something like that. This is what the study supposedly said. But in that same study, it also showed that Black women were the least desired by every group of men. Now, I don't say that because I don't desire Black women. I think Black women are the bomb. Like, well, let me be honest. Like, there are certain, like, if I had to choose my ideal wife, she no doubt would be Black, okay? I don't want to say, generally speaking, Black women are the bomb, whatever. Like, that's kind of, that's kind of like a stretch, right? There are certain Black women that I deal with, that I love through and through. That's my heart, my soul, my everything. There are also some deplorable degenerates, okay, within our demographic who are women, okay, who I wouldn't touch if it was the last day on earth. Okay, y'all are wicked. I think y'all are basically y'all are dealing with the spirit of the devil, okay, period. Y'all have demons for real. And I'm calling it what it is, family. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these women have spirits on them, and those spirits are not clean, okay? And you can tell by listening to the things that come out of their mouths, okay? But nonetheless, Black women right now are the least married group of women across the board, okay, by any race of men, okay? In fact, Black men are the only group of men in America who marry at a higher rate than their race of women, okay? And when you hear the talking points of this woman, Cynthia G, and you just listen to her, like, feel the vibration that's coming off of her, it's not going to be no surprise and no wonder why that is such. There's no, and listen, family, it's not because of looks or physical attraction or a lack thereof. Okay, it has nothing to do with that. It have everything to do with the way these women think. Some of them, the way some of them think. So let's just get into this clip by Cynthia G.
And more testosterone, that somehow means that God gave him dominion over women. God did not give males who need women in order to exist dominion over them. Really, what God did is gave women dominion over men, just by virtue of the fact that man cannot exist without woman, but woman can exist without man.
All right, y'all heard what she said. Okay, God gave women dominion over men because woman does not need man to exist, but man needs woman to exist. So the reality is that God made man and woman interdependent upon one another. There is incentive on both on both sides for the two to get along, so that we can not just exist, but so that we can thrive, we can grow, multiply, and become many. The notion that God gave man dominion over woman, I mean, define dominion, okay? And this is how base and retarded this woman thinks. See, for a woman to submit to leadership does not mean that a man has dominion over you. I don't know of a single religion that is literally saying man have dominion over women. What religious group say that? I think what she's referring to is 1 Corinthians 11, where it says that the head of woman is man. Head of man is Christ. Head of Christ is God. It's not dominion per se. It's just a recognition that someone is taking the lead and that you should submit yourself to the person who have the God-ordained authority to have that role of leadership. It's not like dominion. And this is the thing, is that, and this is how I know this woman is influenced by the devil, because the devil will try to get you to perceive the order and the structure of God to be oppressive and evil. He did it with Eve in the garden. That's why he started out the proposition. He started out his pimping campaign on Eve by saying, is it really so that God said that you must not eat from every tree in the garden? He knew darn well that God said there's only one tree you couldn't eat from, but he was trying to make Eve, he was trying to paint this picture in Eve's mind that the order and structure and the ways of the Almighty were oppressive and not for her benefit, and that she can do better by herself. It was a lie, family. And what do you see Cynthia G doing here? Lying to you. She literally said, man need woman to survive, but woman don't need man to survive. What kind of nonsense is this? And this is why I say it's okay. Ladies, you can't produce a child without a man, period. Men, you can't produce a child without a woman. Woman, man makes a child. We need each other. But I want you guys to hear the ridiculousness of what she says here. The next thing she says, listen.
That Bible that you listen to for the Christians said that Mary did not need a male to reproduce. So the bottom line of it is, woman does not need man to exist. Man needs woman to.
I'm laughing, but it ain't funny. It's very sad. I'm gonna stop laughing and get serious, okay? But family, okay, so are we, this is what we have to ask ourselves now, right? Are we dealing with a Christian woman? Is she a Christian? Let's not say she's a Christian. Do she believe in the Bible? Right? Now, I'm gonna deal with that before I deal with what she actually said. I've heard Cynthia G out of her own mouth openly say, listen, this is not, basically she don't believe in the Bible, okay? She don't believe in organized religion. She probably don't believe in Christianity. She said, you Christians, so she ain't a Christian. Obviously, she's not involved in the Israelite movement. She's not a Muslim, probably. She's not a Muslim. But what I do know is that Cynthia G and a lot of the people in her community deal with tarot card readings and all these things. Brothers have said that she is a witch, okay? And I don't know how, if I want to call her that, but I would definitely say that she is, she's kind of in that realm, okay? Because listen, you sit up here saying you're talking about the Bible, but you don't believe in the Bible. And you're using the Bible to try to authorize the lies that are coming out of your mouth, which is the exact tactic of the devil, okay? The exact tactic of the devil knows the Bible. And when you look at his attacks on the righteous, he usually used the scripture. He usually used the word of God to try to manipulate the word of God, to try to get the child of God to go astray from the order and the direction and the instruction of the Almighty. This is nothing new, family. So then she says, well, Mary didn't need a man to reproduce. Mary didn't need a man to reproduce. So you believe in Jesus? You believe in who the world called Jesus Christ? I don't think so. But the story says that the Holy Spirit of the Almighty came upon Mary and essentially impregnated her in fulfillment of the prophecy in Isaiah, the virgin shall conceive, right? But the question becomes, what percentage of human life have ever been born on this earth without a man? In other words, what percentage of human life have been born immaculately without the help of a human seed? What percentage? A percentage you can't even quantify. You know what I'm saying? 1 out of billions. But women don't need man. Oh, that's proof that women don't need man. This who y'all listening to? You're listening to a psychopath. If you think this woman is mentally stable, if you think that, then something is very much so wrong with you. You need to go get checked out for real. You need to go talk to someone. This is why I started out this video by saying, you put a group of hurt women in a building, listen, they're not going to acknowledge, they're not even going to realize that all of y'all are messed up and all of y'all need help. All of you need help. You don't need to be coming together and, oh yeah, girl, whoopty whoop, and like, oh yeah, y'all about to go off the cliff. Is what's about to happen in your mind, logically. Your reasoning is going to be insane. And is it any wonder? Is it any wonder? Let me ask you this question. Do you think that you can put the best black man in America in the midst of this woman? There ain't going to be no relationship that's going to happen at all. Why? Because when you examine her, when you just see the way that her mind works, it's clear that she's damaged beyond repair. There's no fixing that. She's gone, like out of there. Maybe she can do well with a woman. She might be better for that community, or perhaps a man of a different group. She'll be more cooperative. She'll probably be more inclined to like work with them because clearly she have a sincere hatred, particularly for black men. But it seemed like she got a problem with men in general, and she ultimately wants control. But listen, because she said it, God gave woman dominion over man. Isn't that something, family? So the same woman, so let me get this, let me try to understand this, right? You think a man is supposed to protect and provide for you, right? You want a man to play the traditional role of a man, okay? While you exercise dominion and control over him. So you want him to submit to you, protect you, and provide for you while you lead him and express dominion over him. Hey, to each their own. It's just, and while you also simultaneously manipulate the scriptures, the word of God, which is supposed to be there to encourage him, you want to use this Bible against him, and you want to train other girls to do the same. Sounds like a great wife.
To exist. Therefore, woman has dominion over man's existence. I don't believe that God gave men dominance, control, and power over women. This is something that women gave to men. Why do we believe this, and why haven't we ever challenged this silly notion? The bottom line of it is nowhere on this planet is there any evidence of God or the universe giving men dominion over women except religion. This is a religious notion that keeps women mentally subjugated to men. Why would God give women the power to control men's very existence, but also give men dominion over said women? It just doesn't make sense.
Now, again, as I mentioned, I don't believe this, the notion that man have dominion over woman, generally speaking, is not, I don't know of a single religious organization or group that's teaching that. There may be some hardcore extreme groups that may have some things like that, but Christianity certainly doesn't teach that. And even the traditional Christians and even a lot of the Israelite groups don't teach that mess, okay? They teach, as I mentioned, I'm going to say this for all time, 1 Corinthians 11, the head of woman is man. That is what they're teaching, okay? Meaning what? Now, before I get into that, let me say this. Even in the Bible, you recognize that there was a female judge during the days of Israel. Okay, females have always been able, if they showed the ability to fall into positions of authority and power, if you will, even within the church and the organization and the arrangements of the Almighty. But how it goes most of the time is that a woman will only fall into said role if there is not a qualified man to take it. But by default, you would want the man to assume the position of leadership, headship, etc. within the church or within the country, within the nation, okay? It doesn't mean that women can't do it. It doesn't mean that women can't be judges or senators or go to school and do this and get educated. It doesn't mean any of that. So she's really putting words in the mouths of those who believe. But 1 Corinthians 11, the head of woman is man. That's a general statement, you know, and the reality is most women don't really want to be trying to take control of men. Most women, even women who have this notion of power and success and all these other things in their lives, at the end of the day, they still want a man to come take control. Okay, that's what I truly believe, because I've seen it. I've seen these corporate women, these women who are, you know, executive managers and so on and so forth. Listen, a lot of them are, I don't want to use the word miserable, but a lot of them feel like they're just doing what they have to do to, like, you know what I'm saying, get their thing the way they want it to be. But they still want a man to come in and love them and support them and lead them. They want a qualified man to still lead them. So most women don't even want to be sitting up here talking about having dominion over a man. You know, what kind of loser you trying to deal with? You want to deal with a man that you want to have dominion over? So what you're asking for a loser. You're asking for a man that you have to babysit, because only a loser ass man is going to sit here and, like, you know, want his woman to have dominion over him, tell him what to do, when to do it, how to do it. And this is where your power hungry, power trip, super strong, feminine black woman, this is where that whole recipe blows up in its own face, because you're going to attract men who don't have it together. Those are the men who want to be led by you, okay? Because men who are real men, who are accomplishing things in their lives, for the most part, they're not looking for a combative woman to be with. They're not looking for a woman who want to fight with him over who gonna have headship and leadership in the relationship. It's not going to work. And that's why a lot of y'all relationships don't be working, because y'all don't know how to submit to a man. You don't know how to get along with a man. You don't know how to respect and or treat a man. Your recipe for a man's love is completely based on some illusionary nonsense. And clearly it's not working for you. It's not working. Clear. Examine your life and tell me I'm wrong. So, hey, they got to switch up the approach, because that's never going to work. Okay. So the nonsense coming out of her mouth. Let's play some more of this.
Also, why don't we see how belief systems like God gave men dominion over women are the gateway to abuse, oppression, and the demeaning of women. Do you really think that if men believe that God gave women and men equal power, that there would be this issue of subjugation? Do you think they would be running around talking about submit to me? Do you think that if men were taught that, look, God gave this woman sole exclusive power over whether you exist or not? You cannot exist. She is the gatekeeper to who gets to be birthed into existence. Do you think that if men were
I think men are taught that. Men do understand that they need a woman to give birth to their children, which is a big part of the reason why they want to marry you. Now, in choosing to marry you, a man who have qualities and capabilities will love you naturally. Okay, there's no fight or struggle that's going to take place. A man's going to love a woman because, yes, she's going to give birth to his children. It's a natural process. It's not some oppressive, no, you're going to do this and you're going to do that. That's not at all. I don't know what planet this woman, listen, again, damage. This woman is damaged, and women who think like her, damaged. You are in the salvage yard somewhere talking about why men are not buying you. You are a salvage. You are done. Maybe a man will take a gamble with you, but most men are not, because your condition is what it is. And the thing about it is, you can, unlike automobiles in the salvage yard, you have the ability to change your current condition. But will you put the work in to change your mindset? And I think the answer, at least for her, is hell no. She is out of the park. She's gone. Okay. But this notion that men are not taught that women are the gatekeepers of their life is nonsense. We have mothers. We're taught that we're born from our mothers. We grow up in life learning to love our mothers because we know they gave birth to us. They brought us into this world. The relationship and connection that we all know, that a lot of Black men, especially our mama's boys, they have a very strong connection with their mothers. The mothers breastfed them coming up. So you don't have to explain that to a man. A man knows that. We know that. And when we find a woman that we love, we're going to naturally treat her a certain way because we understand that. It's not something that, there is no oppression. There is no subjugation. Like, what is she talking about? And again, damaged woman. Show me here's my question. What religious group is teaching that men have dominion over women? That a woman just got to do everything a man say, and when family, that's not what's going on. This is her being influenced by the devil. She is so rebellious that she have to paint the most negative picture about the role of about her place, because the problem is she's at war with herself. Let's just be 100 here. She's at war with herself. She think that for her to submit to a man's leadership, especially a Black man's leadership, is somehow oppressive or by default bad or negative. So because she have that mentality, she equate every aspect of a Black man's leadership with oppression and all things negative. Because the problem is not with the fact she don't even, first of all, she don't have no man. She don't have a husband. Well, she got a baby daddy, don't she now? Huh? She got a baby daddy. She ain't got no husband. So what man are you submitting yourself to? What pastor do you submit yourself to? What man do you submit yourself to? None. You don't submit yourself to no man. You don't listen to no man. And that's why I say she's at war with herself. She refused to do it. She refused to actually humble herself, chill out a little bit and say, damn, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the way I'm thinking about this is wrong, because it is, family. And if it's not true, then why are there thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of Black women, okay, and women across the board of all races who are happily married to men who are taking the lead? The problem is her. She is the one who is incapable of being a woman. But hey, she could be a woman the way she want to be one, right? She have explained it. She want to have dominion over a man, okay? And first of all, that's not a Christian theological belief. Now, do I believe that men and women are equal in terms of their value? Yes. Men and women definitely have equal value. A man's not more valuable than a woman. Okay, and I would actually give a slight edge to women. I think women, and this is the reason why, if you really examine it, right? When something, it's just like, listen, like if there was a tragedy happening, right? the only men that would probably go before women and children are going to be highly skilled men who serve a specific purpose. We need this group of men to do a certain thing to keep our civilization going, right? But other than that, women and children are going to go first before layman men, before the average man. That right there is proof to show you that women, the society as a whole realizes that women and children have a lot of value. And it's really a chivalrous thing, because we're saying this group of people, they're kind of vulnerable in some senses. Like they're kind of vulnerable. So we're going to let them go. We're going to send them forth, right? Because we need them. This is so what she's saying is just, again, she's damaged. It's just not the reality.
Taught that fact that we would be sitting here with men talking about women are beneath them, that men are the head, that men have dominion over women. No.
Okay, what she said, I want to play what she just said right there. I'm going to go back because I have to break this down.
I think that if men were taught that fact, that we would be sitting here with men talking about women are beneath them, that men are the head, that men have dominion over women.
Women are beneath them. Men are the head. And men have dominion, right, over them. First of all, I don't know who is teaching that women are beneath men. Who's teaching this? Because she's saying that men are teaching it. So I'm just asking the question, what group of men are teaching that women are beneath them? It's not about if anybody, I believe, if anyone is saying that people are beneath them, it's not because you're a woman. Okay, it's because of the things that you're doing or the way that you act. Okay, yes, if I look at somebody who have high moral standards, somebody who is living their life in a righteous way, in a way that is beneficial to the masses, I'm going to say, yes, this person is up here. But somebody who is teaching evil, somebody is teaching wickedness and unrighteousness to the people, you are beneath that righteous person. I don't give a damn if you're man, woman, boy, girl, child. That's number one. Now, the idea again that men have dominion over women, I don't know who's teaching that. I don't know who's teaching that. But to be the head of someone and have dominion over them are two different things. Okay. And again, the scriptures teach that a man is supposed to take the lead. He have headship. The scriptures say the head of woman is man. The head of Christ is God. The head of man is Christ. The scriptures teach that. So if you have a problem, you have a problem with the Almighty, the God that you talking about, you believe in, which we know is a fairy tale. She don't believe in no God, and she don't believe in the Bible. And this is why I say, if you are a black woman, particularly a black Christian woman, and you taking cues from this woman, you are in danger. I said it before, I'm gonna say it again. You are in danger listening to this woman, because she is teaching, she is playing in the gap as the devil, okay? Using the scriptures to manipulate you. So what you should do ultimately is seek healing for your trauma, seek healing for what you've been through, okay? Before you end up like her in the salvage yard.
No. And so it's this belief system that is causing the abuse. It's causing the oppression. It's causing the devaluing. It's causing the lack of respect. And we don't even see it. And then women are...
And I'm done with her. I don't want to hear no more of this, but this is what I will say. This is where I understand her, right? This is where I kind of agree with what she says. She's mentioning the abuse, the trauma, and the different things that certain black women have been through, right? And I do understand, and I do know that there are a lot of black women who go through trauma and experience abuse and abusive relationships with certain black men, okay? And what I could say to that and how I could speak to that is, yes, hey, I don't tolerate it. I don't believe that any man should be abusing physically or whatever like that women, particularly black women, okay? Because honestly, black women have already been through enough in our society. We as black people have been through enough. But again, this is not based on race. This is based on the person you're dealing with, and it's based on the way that you're dealing with that person. So let me explain to you something, right? If you deal with a man, if you want to go out here and fornicate with a man and start having all this premarital sex and getting these weird relationships with men, then chances are that relationship is going to end in some form of abuse. Take, for example, Tommy Sotomayor and that other black girl who they just got into an altercation with, right? Tommy Sotomayor talking about, oh, flying the chick out. He gonna fly her out. He gonna fly this young girl out. And from the beginning, there was no prospect or conversation of a serious relationship that was gonna lead to marriage from the beginning. This is just a come up. This is prostitution. These are two women tricking, finding a guy with money and using him for that. And him seeing these girls, oh, these young girls probably got some woo-woo, got that wet, got that whack, got whatever. So it's a service, okay? So you want to get in this funky relationship with this Negro. And then when things turn sour, you're talking about, oh, the black man, you're an idiot. It's not the black man. It's the way that it's the type of man that you want to deal with. And it's the way that you want to deal with him. So if you would have, let's flip that coin. If you find you a man of structure and principle, and you approach that relationship from a perspective of self-respect and dignity, and you respect yourself along the way, then chances are that relationship is not going to end in no form of abuse. Okay. So this is the advice that I could give to a woman is, listen, only deal with high quality men for high quality relationships. Stop looking for these situationships and settling for this crap. See, that's the problem. Y'all settling for this crap. And the proof is in the pudding. When you look at the fact that 80-something% of black children are born out of wedlock, it's telling you that there's a lot of premarital sex going on around here. But nobody want to say a damn thing about that. Nobody's saying anything about that. But this is a tremendous problem. It's telling you that it ain't about, oh, men don't value women and no, as black people, we don't value ourselves. We don't value one another. You don't even value yourself. Sitting up here talking about black men. First, deal with yourself. Deal with you. And this is the whole point of the matter. This is why I'm gonna land the plane. You don't get to talk about all these other people and, oh, I'm this victim and what they did to me. Look at what you did. Look at yourself. You are in control of you. If you're not even in control of yourself and you are out of control and you are unruly, you're just combative and, oh, he did this to me, so I did this. And if that's you, family, you don't even have the right to talk about nobody else. This is the reason why, and again, I'm gonna land it here. We talking about this woman who got into an altercation with Tommy Sotomayor. Look, we all got eyes. We all saw the video. Listen, it's not a crime to disrespect a woman verbally. It's not a crime. You cannot, in a court of law, justify physically attacking somebody with, oh, he called me a bitch, or he said this. It doesn't work. We feel for you. We understand what that asshole said was wrong. And he's clearly an asshole for saying that to you. But just because he did does not give you the right to attack him. We all saw the video, but there are delusional women who are, oh, it's self-defense. She was defending herself by attacking him physically. Like, yo, it's comical, to be honest with you. It's comedy. It's like, are y'all serious? Like, this is really how y'all think? And you wonder why you have so much dysfunction in your relationships? Because you don't think right. See, some of y'all, let me tell you something. I'm gonna say this, then I'm gonna get out of here. The irony of the scriptures saying that a man should take the lead, the irony of Paul saying that women in his day when he was teaching that women should keep silent in the church, generally speaking, is that a lot of these women who act like they know something will be better off just being quiet. You're better off just being quiet. Because when you start opening this, you start doing all these things and acting a damn fool, you just disqualified yourself. So you was better off chilling. You was better off chilling and letting your man explain some things to you that you might not understand right now, you might not agree with right now, but you're better off chilling under the headship of a man, a qualified man who loves you and wants to take care of you and actually wants to be with you. But instead, no, you want to act like you want to go off and do this and that. And therefore you're catching bodies after body after body because you're on a path of rebellion. And this is the irony of that whole situation. See, God know what he's talking about. These women out here acting like God don't know, like, oh, God's way is wrong. No, you are wrong. And the proof is in the pudding. You're wrong. And if you had subjected yourself and if you had submitted to the will of God, the same way a man should submit himself to the will of God, then he will find himself on the path of success. When the scriptures say that man must not fornicate, a man must not, any man who keep on looking at a woman. If you submit yourself to the will of your head, who is Christ, you will find success. You will not deal with these ratchet, loose women. See? And if you as a woman submit yourself to the man who is under Christ, then you also will fare well. But if I as a man disregard the commands of Christ, disregard the commands of God, ignore my head, and go out here and want to navigate and do my own thing, I'm going to naturally fall into a path of corruption. I could have bling bling and whoopty whoop and have money and fame and success and an education and a degree. That don't mean nothing. I could still be walking the path of corruption, and I'm going to have to deal with the fruit thereof. And so I'm saying this to warn women, listen, you don't want to walk the path of corruption. You don't want to walk the path of rebellion, because you're going to have to deal with the fruitage of your own actions, which is going to lead you to a path of bitterness. And it's going to lead you to the salvage yard. It's not what we want. We want wives. We need wives. We want wives. We need y'all. But you can't come to us like this, because you're dysfunctional. I would love to hear y'all comments on this topic of discussion. Till we chat again, it's Urban Politics, man. Y'all have a blessed one.